Get your inspection right, everything follows. Get it wrong, you start having problems. And you've got to get this kind of beyond transactional mindset, which is our mantra. That sensor will eventually go flat. Spot the lemons and don't get a sour taste in your mouth. That's what I say.
This episode is sponsored by BM Catalysts, Europe's leading manufacturer of catalytic converters, DPFs and front pipes, helping to keep vehicles running cleaner and greener. You're listening to Garage Talk Unwrapped, the podcast with me, Vicky.
And me, Ben. In this episode, we talked to Prashant Chopra from AutoGem about their TPMS offering, including the Under Pressure Awards, which we're going to, and how they've evolved since 2020.
So TPMS, or Tyre Pressure Monitoring System, is an electronic system that monitors air pressure in tyres in modern vehicles. Most people have probably seen that almost horseshoe-looking symbol with an exclamation mark on a dashboard. That is TPMS.
You only see it when something's gone wrong, though.
Well, yes. So that's what I'm saying. Most people have probably seen it.
Yes. And it's more important than ever, of course. And the three things that came out of this talk for me were inspection, engagement, and resolution, which obviously more of that will come out during the chat we have with Prashant.
Shall we dive straight in?
I think we should, yeah. There's a lot said in the podcast. Let's go straight in.
Here he is.
Prashant, welcome to Garage Talk Unwrapped, the podcast. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
We're going to be talking to you all about AutoGem today, and particularly about your comprehensive TPMS offering. Let's dive in, because I know we have a lot to cover. So can you give us a quick intro into AutoGem and what you do for garages and technicians?
So AutoGem's a brand that's been around since the 60s, originally based in Leeds. We bought the business in 2005. It supplies generally workshop consumables, things like nuts, bolts, washers, gloves, car seat covers, those sorts of things that you need. We also do tyre consumables, everything to fit a tyre, all the sort of pastes and chemicals, tyre repair materials, valves, balance weights, that sort of thing. And then in 2007, we launched the TPMS program, which a lot of people know us for.
What we really want to do today is discuss the two main products you're known for these days. First, it's TPMS, which is Tyre Pressure Monitoring System. And then the second is Under Pressure. Seems simple, but what are the biggest problems you see with TPMS today?
Look, TPMS, I'd break it down into three areas to make it simple for people. How do you inspect a vehicle? Once you've done that inspection, what have you found? How do you engage with the consumer about what you found? And then how do you resolve whatever their issues are? If you get inspection wrong, the whole chain breaks. And that's the simplicity of the matter. Get your inspection right, everything follows and can follow. Get it wrong, you start having problems.
Ah, right, okay. But it doesn't seem simple. It's made complicated by people then.
The human aspect is massive. I think there's real simplicity about understanding how a sensor is coded into the vehicle's ECU and how it needs to match. And we'll touch on ID matching later. But everything is about inspection, in my opinion. Get the inspection right, then you can worry about getting your engagement right, and how you sell that service to a consumer, and don't oversell the product. And then resolution's easy. I think resolution's easy if you've got the right products and you've got good technical support, good training, all that sort of thing, someone to back you up, then that's the straightforward part. In fact, you mentioned Under Pressure, our competition. We actually put the least amount of points on resolution because we know that's the bit we can help with. But inspection, you're on your own. We're not there with you in the workshop getting that bit right.
We have, when we met online recently, you showed me a chart.
Yes.
And actually, it fascinated me because how many aspects of this role is there for you?
Well, we can break it down into sort of headings. You could talk about product, a TPMS sensor, a TPMS service kit, even the storage that you use to store these things, hand tools, diagnostic tools. And that's what a lot of people think that TPMS is. But we like to say that it's much more than that. And you've got to get this kind of beyond transactional mindset, which is our mantra. And by that, we're talking about product engineering. We're talking about training, we're talking about support, we're talking even about digital assets and marketing, and things like our Under Pressure competition, which is a continuous feedback loop. So on that chart that I showed you, which is our secret sauce, I think there's over 45 aspects to our TPMS program. And if I tell you that a TPMS sensor is one of those 45, you start getting an idea of how detailed we go into this subject with.
Yeah. So how can a TPMS job going wrong affect a garage's reputation? Have you got any examples of how that's gone wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you a great example, and it's very relevant to what's happening at the moment in the marketplace. People assume, well, people don't do the inspection properly. Let's go back to that point. And what they'll do is they'll look at the dashboard and they go, "There's no light on there. Everything's okay."
Yeah.
Now, that assumption in itself is a mistake. And why is that? Because we're now in an era where you've got vehicles that have had TPMS sensors legislated since 2014. So a vehicle with 12 years old with sensors in it has almost certainly going to have a battery issue of some sort. And what's happening is, if the battery has not failed, there will be no TPMS light on the dashboard. I want you to imagine that you drive in or you have someone drive into your workshop and they have a sensor in their vehicle and the battery's low. And because it doesn't come up on the dashboard, you thought everything's fine. You didn't bother scanning that sensor. You didn't check it. You didn't realize it was a low battery. You've now changed their tires. You've charged them for the 3 or 4 tires or whatever other work they've done. They've gone away. And then 2 weeks later, the battery goes flat because it can go just like that, especially in cold weather. Suddenly, you touch my tires. I had no problem with my TPMS light until you touched my car. Because you didn't do the inspection properly, that can affect you. And that's where reputation starts getting into a real issue. I'll give you one more for another example. Yeah. You know, we work with a lot of large national and regional chains, but there's 1 or 2 chains we don't work with. And we have heard time and time again, a couple of large chains in particular, where they do some TPMS work on a customer's car. They've not resolved it properly. Customer's got frustrated. He's gone into a workshop that works with our iSensor solution. They've gone and done a proper diagnosis. They've worked out what the problem is. As a best case scenario, they might do a relearn on the vehicle, but they're going to charge for that time. As a worst case scenario, those sensors might have been programmed wrong, or they're not fit for purpose for the vehicle. They're going to be double charged for new sensors that are put on the vehicle, and then the TPMS warning light's been put out properly. What kind of reputational damage is that to a large national chain that people recognize their names? Process. It's all about process. It comes back to what you said, Ben. It's the human side.
What kind of reputation does it give to anybody? You know, not just large chains, but independents.
Yeah. Do you think customers might not even understand what's really going on, so they can kind of hide behind, oh, you know, it wasn't our fault. It's because we thought we'd fixed it, but you know, then the battery, is it sometimes that the customer doesn't understand what has actually gone wrong with it, so they pay for it and don't really think anything more of it? They just go, oh. Yeah,
I think, you know, that comes back down to the engagement piece. You know, how well are people explaining that this device that's inside their vehicle is battery powered and batteries eventually die? Yeah. And we've got equipment here that's going to check the condition of that battery, and we're just letting you know that at some point it's going to let go, and we can deal with it when it does. So it's about sowing the seeds for the future and educating the consumer. And that's what I talk about, engagement. But if you don't do right inspection, there's no point. Your engagement's not going to get you anywhere. And that's, I mean, we can talk a lot more about this later, but that's one of the fascinating things about how training evolves over time as well.
Hi everyone, Shep
and Sean
from Laser Tools here. You probably know us for our specialist tools.
You know, the ones you use for all those big jobs.
But here's the thing. We do all the everyday tools too. Spanners, sockets, ratchets, you name it, we've got it.
And they're all built to the same high standard as our specialist tools. Oh, and it's our 50th birthday this year, Shep.
Yeah, so we must be doing something right then. To see our full range, head over to lasertools.co.uk.
Are you tired of chasing car parts over the phone? PartSync connects trade buyers with trusted suppliers in one platform. No calls, no delays, just parts. Get real choice, new, used or genuine OEM. Compare brands, warranty, price and delivery. Suppliers, connect with active trade buyers ready to buy your stock. PartSync, bringing the parts industry together. Book your demo at partsync.co.uk.
What about legislation, though? What part does that play? Because everything should be legislated, obviously.
Legislation's a huge factor in this. And legislation, in 2016, I was at Automechanica and I was giving a talk about TPMS, and I talked about the TPMS tidal wave that's going to hit our shores. And as a TPMS provider, I think it's fair to say that I've been waiting for this tidal wave for a long time, but I'd also say it has finally arrived now. And what do I mean by that? Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to basics. 2012, the EU had legislation that said, they started phasing in legislation that says that every vehicle sold from the 1st of November onwards in 2014 has to have a form of tyre pressure monitoring system in it. There's two types of tyre pressure monitoring system. There's one that essentially works off the ABS system, and there's another which uses a sensor inside the tyre, whether that's tyre mounted or wheel rim mounted. And that sensor will eventually go flat. It's got a battery in it, and that's how it works. So what legislation's done is you've got millions of cars. We're talking every Ford, if you rewind back to 2014. Every Ford, every BMW, every Mercedes, every Toyota, every Mini, and so on. There's many, many vehicle manufacturers, about 50% of vehicles out there, that have all got 4 or 5 sensors inside them, 5 if you've got a spare wheel. Think about the millions of cars that have been registered. Now start doing the maths.
Yeah.
And all those batteries are going to go flat.
Yeah.
That's the tidal wave that I spoke about, and that is what the market is now experiencing. Flat batteries left, right and centre, which means MOT failure.
It's a problem that can be easily resolved.
Very easily resolved, yeah. I mean, it's not difficult to do. One of the things you can do is you can actually copy the original sensor ID that, let's say we've had the front right sensor fail. You can copy the ID off that sensor. You can manually read it off the sensor and type it in and paste that information into one of our eye sensors, for example. And what you're doing is you're effectively fooling the car into believing it's got the same original equipment sensor that it did. So you're programming the sensor and not the vehicle ECU. You're not having to do a relearn procedure. And that's saving huge amounts of time for the workshop and for the customer.
So battery failure, valve stem issues, and increasing driver volumes are all affecting its performance. How do these challenges impact both technicians and customers?
Well, technicians don't understand it, like you touched on earlier, Vicky, and we need to really help explain, what do those dashboard lights actually mean? When you've got a solid dashboard light, that weird sort of sign with the exclamation mark in the middle of it, that's low pressure. Oh, and when it starts flashing and then it goes solid, that's a system failure. Just to let you know something serious that's gone wrong. And what it's doing and how it helps you. And as a consumer, I think it's important that people understand having the correct tire pressure is giving you maximum grip. It's giving you extended life or maximizing the life of the tires. It's reducing your fuel consumption. I think it's important for people to engage in these basic things because consumers don't know these things. And cars are becoming so complex now. Why not tell them some of the nice stuff that's actually come on them?
That doesn't make money though, does it?
It doesn't make money, but what it does, it creates a connection between you and the customer. And do you want loyalty? Do you want people to come back? Do you want people to say, this person's knowledgeable and I want them to service my vehicle? Or do you want to say, well, I'll just go find out myself?
Because, there are so many lights on the dash now. There are so many things that the car's telling you, there might be a problem with this. You might want to check this out. But until you either Google it or looking in the manual, it could be anything, couldn't it? So for some people who aren't interested in going that far to look for the information, if their garage isn't telling them, oh, this light is on your dash, this is what it means, or, when they're buying the car, they don't know about that. It's just, they will just let it go, won't they? As long as the car's still driving, oh, there's a light on, that's fine. But we should be tackling it before we get to that point.
Definitely.
But also, I feel, personally, there's too many garages now that will say, can you clear that code? Or I can clear that code for you. And it's code these days, isn't it, as well? And I go, I'll clear it for a tenner. That's not tackling the issue, though, is it? It's
not tackling the issue at all. And I think there's a real danger. If you clear the code, it just comes back again. If you haven't diagnosed what the actual cause of the problem is, you're creating a rod for your own back. And again, proper process, proper inspection.
Or it leads to a bigger problem. It hides a bigger problem in the car.
Yeah, definitely. And, TPMS, we talked about simplicity. We're now at a very interesting stage with our tech support team. We take over 700 calls a month, as I might have mentioned to you earlier. And we're now seeing, as cars are aging, the problems that are happening to them from a TPMS perspective aren't only sensor related. You've got ECU issues, you've got wiring issues, you've got corrosion issues. Tire pressure monitoring system is a system. It's not just a sensor.
Yeah.
So now our tech support team is now covering these wider aspects. That is so important to sort of help these technicians who are doing such complex jobs. How much are they expected to know on ever increasing vehicles? It's really challenging.
Absolutely. I'm sure you have many, but can you share an example of how your sensors or tools makes a technician's life easier?
Oh, how many different ones can I do? How long have you got? Here's one for you. So we deliberately engineer our software to make it as intuitive as possible. What do I mean by that? That when someone picks up our tool, they're going to know how to use it. A bit like when you pick up, a phone and you go, this is really, really easy to use. Everyone knows what easy to use is and everyone knows what hard to use is. We talk about least number of clicks. What we want and what we often hear is a business owner will buy our TPMS machine. We'll call them up and say, how's it going? And they'll say, oh, the techs love it. It's so straightforward. It's so straightforward. And we didn't realize that actually, when you're not involved, as we are, in actually designing the software and the workflow that goes through, and if you're not engaged with the work that the technician's actually doing, there's a real danger of an engineer producing a product that's not relevant to the person on the ground.
That's true.
And that's why I like to refer to, as one of the things we were speaking about in our program, deliberate software engineering, deliberate hardware engineering. That's one example. I want to give you one more if I can.
Yeah, go for it.
I can't help myself. We take lots of tech support calls, as I said before. And one of the most important things about TPMS, the basic principle is you've got sensors in every different wheel position, whether that includes a spare wheel or not. And the vehicle's ECU has got the ID codes of those unique IDs and wheel positions stored into it. So what happens is, with our diagnostic tool, you can go and scan those sensors. And you say the front right sensor has a code of ABC. And the right rear has XYZ. And you go around the vehicle, you collect all that information. And what we often say is just draw a little cross on a piece of paper and write all these ID codes down. What I now want you to do is go into the vehicle. Because you've got this system failure, we need to understand what's going wrong. I want you to go into the vehicle and I want you to read the vehicle's ECU. And now tell me, what are the IDs that the vehicle thinks it has in the front right position, the right rear position, and so on. And we call that concept ID matching. So what we've done is we've taken a problem that we have on tech support, and on all our latest generation tools, our Evo and Pro tools, we have an ID matching function in there. So a technician can instantly see that's the sensor that has the problem. Is it a relearn? Is it a tire rotation? What is it? And it makes it really, really easy for the technician to solve, or arguably for us to help them over the phone with it as well. Yeah. So lots of thought goes into these things.
You've built a network, as you mentioned just previously, of distributors. Having a network, what has that brought to you? Because obviously experience passed on experiences, etc. So has it made it more knowledgeable as a group, or?
It's incredible. So probably one of the most exciting things that I do for a living is this global collaboration network that I've put together. So let me just explain what that is. It's not a network of distributors of our product. It's actually a network of distributors of the manufacturer's product from different countries. So we get our eye sensor made by a public limited company, huge company, very impressive, all sorts of global patents, all that sort of thing. And I work with their other global distributors, the Americans, the Swedes, the Germans, the Dutch, and the English. These are the largest TPMS markets in the world. The Northern Europeans have a lot of winter tire legislation, which drives a lot of sensor volume. And the Americans have had legislation since 2007, which drives their battery failure, tidal wave stuff that I spoke about earlier. So when you talk to these people, they all say quite similar things about the challenges of training, the need for continuous training. It's not a one and done scenario, it's continuous. Staff turnover, technology that's changing on vehicles. And what we do with this lovely group of people that we've put together is we engineer our software and our hardware in the same direction. And that reduces the research and development time to release our solutions. So for example, sorry, it's a lot of waffle, but for example, a customer came to us in December and they came up with an idea and they said, the batteries are going low. How can you help me emphasize this? So with them, we came up with an idea, which they thought was great, spoke to the collaboration team, asked them how they felt about it. We all prioritized it. And lo and behold, in January, we released the software. And that's the beauty of collaboration, because the supplier is saying, yes, you're all working in one direction.
That's amazing, that is. And how does that help the garages themselves?
It just increases the speed of software updates, essentially.
Sorry, jump in. How do they know when to download an update?
Oh, there's like a sort of a push notification, a sort of reminder that they get on the latest tools we have. But if they're on our newsletters, they'll get advised anyway when the updates come. And it also means updates to our training, updates to our technical support, and so on. So we're all solving ideas globally together, challenges together. It's good.
Calling all garage owners, technicians and aftermarket professionals. Don't miss the Schaeffler Rep Expert Conference on Thursday, 14th of May at the British Motor Museum in Warwickshire. A day packed with insight, innovation and industry inspiration. Hear from top experts in the Garage Forum, including Tim Guidotti, aka The Fleet Guy, Simon Palmy, Tom Cockings, Peter Wilden and Andy Wells, sharing real-world experience and practical ideas you can use in your workshop. Plus, breakfast, lunch, goodie bags and a chance to win great prizes. Secure your ticket today. Link at garagetalkonline.co.uk/news/rep expert. All proceeds to go to Ben, the automotive charity.
When quality matters and emissions count, demand precision. BM Catalysts is Europe's leading manufacturer of aftermarket hot-end emissions products. From catalytic converters and OE-level components to expert technical training available on Garage Pro, BM delivers best-in-class manufacturing, rigorous performance, and full compliance. Need parts you can trust? Visit bmcats.com. Partner with BM. Drive profit, exceed expectations. So, your Knowledge Hub.
Yes.
How does your Knowledge Hub and certification help new and existing staff improve their skills?
I think the best thing about a Knowledge Hub is it's our third generation of videos. And people say, why are you producing videos 3 times over? Because of some of the things we spoke about earlier. When we first started doing TPMS, it was about how do I not break a sensor? And we talked about consumer engagement. That's included in our latest set of training. And we're really focusing on that. So that really helps technicians that way. But one of the big advantages of it is it's open to all our iSensor users. Very simple process to sort of register for access. And you can start and stop the training whenever you like and continue all the way to certification. It's a bit of a double-edged sword, this one. And I don't know if I should say this, but You're
going to say it anyway.
I know, I can't help myself, as you can tell. We had a customer tell us how he had 43 people apply to be a centre manager in his tyre centre. And the person he chose, the person who came top, was the person who included the fact that they did our AutoGem TPMS certification. And he knew, right, you understand TPMS. Now, I love that.
That's great.
But I also feel bad for the employer that encouraged them to use it first time round. On the flip side, isn't it good we're raising standards and people, value the certification we're producing for them?
People look at that as a quality, of someone they want to employ. That's brilliant.
You don't sit still, as we know, and you created a award or a competition or just a lot of knowledge coming together with your Under Pressure awards. Firstly, tell us how they work and why they're so important.
Oh, it'd be a pleasure. It's the highlight of my working life, so how can I not tell you about it? So I put together this competition 5 years ago, It was just after COVID that I came up with the idea. And the whole idea was initially just to celebrate the top TPMS technicians in the country. We work with, I think, is it over 4.5 or possibly now 5,000 workshops. So there's enough people to choose from that use our eye sensor and have had our training that we can celebrate with. And we produced, we started off with 2 different categories of awards: large retailer, small retailer. And then I think 3 years ago, we decided we wanted to emphasize for the young'uns as well. So we did under 23s because they're young'uns to me. And
it's very young.
I mean, one managing director.
Can I enter that one next year?
You can.
No.
Just don't show us your passport ID. And it was really nice because the managing director said, look, the young'uns are the future. And the danger is in workshops that you get someone with knowledge and they hoard it. But if we encourage the young people to learn, then that gets spread to the future and then it can get passed on. So that's why we introduced the under 23 category, which is brilliant. Lots of young female techs actually entering that.
Which is massive.
It's massive seeing that. It's massive seeing that. But let's go back to competition. So competition again covers the 3 key areas that I talk about: inspection, engagement, resolution.
Consistency, you see.
Yeah, absolutely. And the idea is that we have a game show, essentially. The qualifying round is an online game show. And we enjoy hosting it. And from that, we get the data of where the knowledge gaps are and who can actually make the finals. And we have about 16 places in our finals.
Is it like blankety blank, or I mean, what's the game?
It's not. It's actually, there's both true and false, multiple choice questions.
Okay.
It's about speed. It's about accuracy. You get something wrong, you actually lose points and things like that.
Wow.
So it's very intense, actually.
Let's not look at the finalists first. Let's look at the ones that don't get into the final. Do
Yeah.
you then assist them with their knowledge gaps?
Absolutely. So we've got the knowledge gaps, and that's the point. We're collecting data. Now, we do this both for independents and we do this for national and regional networks that we work with. And the independents, everyone who enters, we give them, if you don't make the finals, we give them a sort of summary of you might want to be working on these particular topics or areas.
That's helpful.
For example, scanning batteries or whatever it might be. And we like to give that feedback because it is ultimately about raising standards. Because if we raise the standards of the technicians, and we help our customers serve their customers better, they get loyalty. We hopefully get loyalty along the way. They will sell them a service when it's appropriate, when that battery's completely gone flat. And it becomes a win-win scenario. And that's the way, that's the whole point of raising the standards. And what we also do for the networks is we internally benchmark them. So if you've got 180 centers, for example, that are entering, we're now scoring against regions, and within regions, people can know who their best people are. And sometimes they put on their own prizes. Even if they don't make the final, they're giving people iPads, TVs, whatever it is, because they want their staff to improve their standards. And we love that they use our competition as like an annual MOT on knowledge.
It's almost like they can use it for appraisals or something as well. This is what you scored in the competition, yeah.
Well, not only that, but a lot of our customers use it for HR records. So we have to tell the large networks who has completed their training, who hasn't. And that goes into their HR records because they value this training so much.
What I want to understand from yourself now is that basically you shifted a lot of parts, a lot of different consumables. And it's fair to say some of them are bought by the hundreds and the thousands in boxes. Why are you so invested in quality and not quantity when you're dealing with that kind of product?
I think it's because we sell toilet paper, right?
Yep, you've told us this,
And we sell nuts and bolts. And how do you support someone with toilet paper? Do I need to produce a video on how you should use toilet paper?
Oh, please do.
Do I need
Can we record it?
Do I need a tech support line to say, wipe this way or that way, or how many times you wipe? Oh my gosh, this
Some
is really
people
going
might
off
need
piece.
that.
Bring it back down to...
Please do use the toilet paper in the first place, right? and so on. But what I'm saying is when you start selling commodity products like that, people don't value you so much. But when you're going and you're identifying knowledge, and we'll talk about the finals in a minute, and skills gaps, and you're raising standards for the industry, and for example, people value your certification so much they're putting it in their CVs, then you're really adding value, not just for the business, but for the technician themselves. And I think for us as a brand, it's really nice to see that appreciation. We've won quite a few industry awards over the years, and we've been up against global tire manufacturers. and to win, training awards. We never knew we would even be training when we bought the business 21 years ago. And we've evolved the business into this. And really, the pat on the back, I guess that's what I am. I'm just a dog that needs to be patted on the head. And then my tail wags.
Let's bring you back to Under Pressure then.
Yes.
The finals.
The finals, my favourite. So our first year of the Under Pressure finals was actually at the very first Garage and Body Shop event 5 years ago. And then it was so exciting because Pirelli spotted what we did. A lot of their Pirelli Performance Centre network customers are also our customers, and they made the finals and they decided to support us. So they've got this incredible centre. And
what date is the finals?
It's the 24th of June, and qualifying is going to start around about the May time. And what we do at the finals is really fun. So it's a really good networking event. We have training going on. We have a whole load of sponsors. Everyone brings a whole load of prizes for the techs. And what do? We have a booby trap car. Can you guess what we check? We check inspection, engagement,
check
resolution.
Sunroofs?
Yeah, not sunroofs. So the three fundamentals. We've got independent judges checking all these different areas and sections.
That's the key, isn't it? It's not you, because you could favour your biggest customer.
Absolutely. No. Yeah. It's got to be independent. We do need to be a judge on the resolution phase.
Yes.
Because we understand how to do that, and it's quite technical. And a bit like, let's say a printer's broken. Well, is it the toner? Is it the paper? Is it the driver? Is it turned on? There's lots of different ways to make things work. And that's the same with TPMS. And then we have a speed round, actually, which really puts the techs under pressure, where we have a random service kit and we see if they fitted it properly, and we give points according to how much time they do. And what the competition allows us to do is it makes us look at the skills gaps. So we get the knowledge gaps during qualifying, and we get the skills gaps during the finals. This then allows us to produce what we like to call is our annual state of the market report. And we then feed that back to our customers again in the form of, these are the things that went right or wrong in Under Pressure. This is what you should be focusing on. And that's available to all of the people that enter. But to the large networks, we then start saying, this is where we see your skills and your knowledge gaps are. Let's focus your training in a different way. Let's upskill you guys. And year to year to year, we see standards just keep going up and up and up. And it's really, really satisfying to see that. And customer sales, reflect that success as well.
That's fantastic. I mean, it must be so rewarding for you. For garages that fully engage with your training, your tech support and the competitions, what kind of difference do you see in sales and customer satisfaction compared to those who just buy the product? Like what does that difference look like?
It's staggering, Vicky, absolutely staggering. So I'm not going to give you exact sense of numbers because that's real secret sauce stuff.
Yeah.
But what I am going to do is talk about averages. So what we did is we categorized our customers either engaged or not engaged. Engaged is exactly what you referred to. They're doing our Under Pressure competition. They're doing our training. They're using our technical support. It's really, really important that you do all of those three things to qualify as engaged. Versus the people who say, I've got the tool from you. It's brilliant. It's intuitive. Thank you very much. I'll just keep buying sensors and service kits done. And they don't enter the competition. So in 2023 to 2025, the unengaged customers have seen their sensor purchases double with us. And you go, wow, their sales have doubled. Isn't that great? And I think that's great. Yeah, brilliant. You don't want to know how much the other guys are getting.
We do.
You're going to find out now, because the difference is tenfold. They've seen their sales from 2023 to 2025 increase by tenfold.
That's incredible.
Compared to 2 times. So you are missing out on the fun if you don't engage with all the good stuff we do.
And I'm guessing they're the ones that engage your technicians probably daily. I mean, you take 700 calls a month.
700 calls a month on tech support.
And this will be from that higher percentage.
Absolutely, yeah.
What are the most common issues that they're calling you up for?
Again, boils down to inspection. Typically, the problems are changing over time. We had simple stuff like, I don't know what valve stem fits this. Well, actually, you know what? We have created online support for you to do that. You have got printed documentation that can answer those questions, but we'll still help you with that, no problem. And the calls will be anything from 2 minutes to 20 minutes. And sometimes you need to go away and do this on the vehicle, come back, tell us how it went. Yeah, it's all sorted out. But what's happening more and more so we're finding is this reputational damage thing that's happening. Customers are starting to bring what we refer to as lemons into the workshop. Now, this is the real danger. You've got a vehicle that's come in, it's got a TPMS system fault. You didn't check that dashboard light properly, or you didn't understand the dashboard light properly. Now we're into a really dangerous place. Because you didn't check it, it's become your liability. The customer won't tell you, oh, I've got a light on and I'm bringing you a car that has a problem that another garage couldn't fix. And that's the real danger where things are happening. The good news is we know how to fix things.
Yeah, but you wanted to fix it at that earlier point.
Yes, and we want to make sure that our customers are really, really on the board to look out for the lemons. Spot the lemons and don't get a sour taste in your mouth. That's what I say.
I could talk to you all day, but we do have time limit. Thanks so much for joining us today and sharing insights from understanding challenges and the intricacies of TPMS to highlighting how AutoGem supports the garage and technicians, to the under pressure competition, to the training, to the tools, and finally industry recognition, which we heard about lastly. It's clear how proactive you are. It's clear that, yes, you do buy into your customers, but your customers are buying back that loyalty into you. And you deserve it. So, and also, thanks for telling us how you've gone from supplying toilet roll to TPMS systems.
For our listeners who want to get involved, improve their skills, or learn more about AutoGem, what's the best way for them to do that?
Number one way, go to our website. It's quite easy, autogem.co.uk. M for mother, not N for November. And you can find us there. We've got our contact numbers on there, and call our tech support team on option 4. Oh my goodness, you'll love how friendly they are and how helpful they are.
Thanks so much for chatting to us today, Prashant.
Pleasure. Thanks for getting me in.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know about you, but I can't wait for Under Pressure.
No, it sounds really exciting, doesn't it? It's a really good idea.
It's nice to hear somebody else being under pressure rather than us for 2 or 3 hours on our radio show.
Nice to hear somebody being so passionate about the aftermarket and safety and, you know, a certain aspect of it, kind of like Sophie with the tyres.
Yeah.
Prashant is all about TPMS.
Yeah. And what I found fascinating was it's part of his business, yet it's the highlight, it's the spotlight of his business, but he doesn't forget about everything else. He's a really clever chap, how he balances everything. And I'm balancing, of course, with wheels there. That's what I did.
God. I like how the awards set standards for people to use as benchmarks for appraisals even. It shows how well thought of the awards are and how successful they've been to date.
Yeah, and as I say, and the fact that some of these awards are great for the mechanics, but the managers don't look into them. But obviously in this case, the managers are taking it on board.
Definitely.
That's it for this episode. Thank you to Prashant Chopra for coming in. You can find out more about AutoGem at autogem.co.uk.
And of course, another thank you to BM Catalyst for being this episode's sponsor, the UK and Europe's leading manufacturer of catalytic converters, DPFs and front pipes. You can find out more at bmcats.com.
Finally, thanks so much for listening today. If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to follow Garage Talk on your favourite podcast platform or platforms and hit the bell so you never miss an episode.
Yes, thank you so much for listening. Next time, we'll be talking to Tony Yates from Schaeffler. We had a really honest conversation with Tony about his journey from school into the automotive industry and just how passionate he is about promoting the aftermarket as a career of choice.
And also, get your tickets for Schaeffler's conference that's coming up because you can hear more from Tony at the conference.
Yeah, feel free to grab him for a chat.
Brilliant. That's it.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.